This is Bob Mason from FX Empire, and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple's XRP. Looking at the MACDs, the moving averages, the day's support, resistance, and pivot levels, and the Fibonacci's. It is Thursday, the 1st of April. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against US dollar, it's bullish start to the day. Going to need to see Bitcoin avoid the pivot at 58,507 to take a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 6188. We need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break back through to 60,000 levels after yesterday's high, 59,899. So barring an extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Bitcoin test resistance at the 14th of March swing high, 61,699 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 61,580. Before through the pivot, we'll bring the first major support level at 57,115 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should stay clear of the second major support level at 55,434. Looking at the MACD, we've got a widening of the bullish histograms after this morning's bullish cross, supporting the early morning upside. On the EMAs, the 50s holding its ground against the 100 and the 200, but nothing conclusive as yet, so keep an eye on that. So keep through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot at 58,507 and break through yesterday's high, 59,899, to then bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and support levels will come into play. Moving across Ethereum against the US dollar, bullish start to the day here. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid the pivot at 1880 to continue the run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 1988. We'll need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break out from yesterday's high in 1948 and through 1950 levels. So barring an extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 2000 to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, should see Ethereum test resistance at 2100 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 2056. Before through the pivot, we'll bring the first major support level at 1812 into play. Barring an extended sell on the day, Ethereum should still well clear of the second major support level at 1704. Looking at the MACDs, we've got a narrowing of the bullish histograms, but nothing suggestive of a bearish move, so keep an eye on that through the early part of the day. On the EMA, it's a bullish indicator with the 50 pulling away from the 100 and the 200 supporting the upside through the morning. So keep through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot at 1880 and break through to 1950 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and support levels will come into play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, also bullish start to the day. Going to need to see Litecoin avoid a fall through the 23.6% fib at 195 and the pivot at 194 to support a run at the first major resistance level at 202. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin's breakout from this morning's high 200.8, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Litecoin test resistance at 210 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 206. A fall through the 23.6% fib and the pivot at 194 will bring the first major support level at 190 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should stay clear of sub-180s. Second major support level at 183 should limit any downside. Looking at the MACD, we've got a widening of the bullish histograms through the morning, supporting this early upside. On the EMA, also bullish indicator with the 50 pulling away from the 100 and the 200. So it's keep through the early part of the day, avoid the 23.6% fib and the pivot at 194 and break back through this morning's high 200.8 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and support levels will come into play. And you're looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, also bullish this morning. Going to see Ripple's XRP avoid the pivot at 0.5595 to take another run at the first major resistance level at 0.59. We'll need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 0.585 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and this morning's high 0.59411 to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, should see Ripple's XRP test resistance at 0.62 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 0.6105. A slide through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 0.5390 and the 23.6% fib at 0.5320 into play before any recovery. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should still well clear of the second major support level at 0.5085. Looking at the MACD, we've got a slight narrowing of the bullish histogram after a widening through the morning, supporting this early morning upside. On the EMAs, the 50s also pulling away from the 100 and the 200 which is also a bullish indicator. So key through the early part of the day, steer well clear of the pivot of 0.5595 and break back through to 0.585 levels to bring resistance levels back into play. Failure to do that and support levels will come into play.